Good afternoon. Please stay standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, then the National Anthem, and last but not least, our alma mater. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It is quite an honor to be addressing my class, parents, teachers, and administrators here today. As I stand here before you now, it is hard to believe that just a few years ago, this moment did not seem real or possible. High school appeared to be so big, and the years ahead seemed so endless. It seems as if just yesterday we were sixth graders in Hammersholt, being assigned our first locker, or finding out that instead of study hall, we would have a 20-minute recess. Other way around. Although this may be hard for some to remember, or seem like such a long time ago, perhaps the feelings and emotions are quite similar to those we feel now. Just yesterday, we were faced with the intimidation of those huge seventh graders, and now we're faced with that of the adults in the real world. If you take a look around you at your fellow classmates, you will notice people from all different backgrounds, not just ethnically or religiously, but in our personality and our character as well. Among the people sitting around you are your best friend, that kid in your math class, or perhaps someone you've never spoken to before. And with a class of 568, it's possible. It's hard to believe that all of these people have had an effect, but I'm confident that this is the case. Right now, we are sharing a life-altering experience, one that is a true honor for us all, and only our fellow classmates together could have accomplished it. It was these very 568 different individuals who every day accepted the challenges as we did and never gave up. Hard work, tough times, and difficult decisions have been a part of everyday life. We learn from our mistakes, and although we could not fix them and sadly could not erase them, we came together. Our strength and support for one another kept us from making them again. We have become a part of each other, and without even one of those many parts, we would not be whole. I can't think of a better place in the world to learn all of these axial lines and absolute truths about life than in high school. As ninth graders, we just couldn't wait to get inside that building, never knowing how EBHS would affect us and how different we'd be upon leaving. High school has brought us face to face with our insecurities and stuck by while we've gotten past them. We've been given the opportunity to challenge, explore, create, imagine, and most importantly, to learn to be proud of ourselves. We will all go in different directions from here. Choosing the right road can seem impossible, and these decisions are going to pave our futures. In order to succeed, we must meet and greet these challenges as friends and not foes. Our good sense and character will guide us through life. The world can be a scary place, but if we are prepared to think with our minds and willing to embrace our futures, we are bound to be winners. Our teachers have tried to guide us through these difficult years, providing us with a solid education, both in school and in life. They've also taught us to respect the very institute of education, and we have fought them every step of the way. Our parents have guided us through these vulnerable years, giving us solid ground with the backbone of self-esteem, yet we see things so very differently and think they cannot possibly understand us. As we are now leaving high school and entering the real world, we must go out with our eyes wide open. Some of us are very sad and feel this day signifies an end to many things. However, I feel this is just the beginning. I will always cherish the memories I have made at East Brunswick High School and the friends that I've shared them with. So to the class of 2000, I will leave you with a quote by Robert Schuller and say, "The world of tomorrow belongs to the person who has the vision of today." Thank you and good luck.
The last part was easy. We all knew the precise order in which we would enter and the exact chairs that we would occupy during today's ceremony. Having already rehearsed the entire procedure, we understood that there would be no surprises, no challenges, no choices, only speeches, handshakes, and 600 proud seniors dressed in identical green gowns. But after today's ceremony, life will not offer seating cards to point us in the right direction, or English teachers to tell us when it's our turn. Instead, it will bring us freedom. With exciting opportunities to explore and difficult decisions to make, we will need to encounter uncertainty with confidence, and at the same time, ensure that our choices are responsible ones. Too often, people trample over others as they strive towards success, thinking only of personal gain. So let us, the class of 2000, not just fulfill our ambitions, let us do so in a manner that reveals respect for others and improves, in some small way, the world in which we live. So choose wisely, and remember that there is no one path to success. True, the road toward high school graduation has led all of us to this ceremony. But as much as our matching caps and gowns make us look alike, and as much as our love for our classmates brings us together, we know that we have never been headed in the same direction, and that graduation is where our paths diverge for good. Now is our chance to explore, with newfound freedom, the differences that have always existed between us. So challenge yourself, try new things, take chances, be different, and respect the differences that you find in others. Learning, like the construction being done in our high school, is a process that never ends. So don't be afraid of new ideas. Don't let the past stand in your way, but don't forget about it either. Remember the teachers who inspired us, the lessons we learned, the friends we made, and the jokes we shared. We made it through tests, quizzes, homework, HSBTs, the Millennium Bug, and a giant pile of dirt. Our graduation is no small achievement. For now, we have square caps with cardboard labels that tell us which end is the front and which is the back. But if we all take a moment to look at each other closely, we will see that although the next part of our lives may not be quite as well rehearsed as our graduation ceremony, we are ready to meet its challenge. Congratulations, class of 2000. I wish you all the best of luck.
members of the Board of Education, Dr. Kopko and Central administrators, Dr. Tantillo and high school administrators, my distinguished colleagues, parents, grandparents, family and friends, the graduating class of the year 2000. Let me take this opportunity to applaud you, the graduates, on behalf of my many colleagues and your many elementary, middle school, and junior high school faculty and staff members on this important occasion in your lives. For me, as their representative, I stand here truly honored. Graduation from the high school is the cornerstone to your new frontiers. The foundation has been firmly established, and it is from this ground that your future will embark. Therefore, what are the components that make you so strong as you leave on a path so uncertain, yet so full of promise? The first building block in the foundation is and always has been respect. I always tell a new student teacher that the key to being a successful teacher is respect. First, you demonstrate to the students that you respect them, and then and only then can you earn their respect in return. This component of life is a must for success. Respect for others who may be different than you, respect for your parents who are the guardians of your well-being, and yes, self-respect, perhaps the most important piece as you make your way into the future. This next piece translates into a simple expression heard countless times in our classroom. The bell rings, you students pack up, and as you are exiting the class, my teaching partner, Ms. Barbara Guido, says, "Be good to one another." This, too, is a block in the foundation. Words so easily said, yet so powerful if lived by. For if we are truly good to one another, this uncertain future will become clear, its path will be straight, and its bounty limitless. Take these two civil components, along with all the other years and the building blocks from the East Brunswick schools: integrity, courage, acceptance, self-discipline, as you embark on your new quest for knowledge, humanity, and compassion. For amongst you is living testimony to what I speak of. Recent events following our prom saw a life-threatening situation turn, with the passage of time, into an unbelievable story of heartfelt joy. Students who demonstrated that they are not one-dimensional, whose character rose to the occasion, and who, at the opportune moment, saved another. Yes, evidence the foundation is strong. And never forget your lessons accomplished in our classrooms, in the hallways and in the offices, on the fields and in the locker room, in the cafeteria and on the stage, in the sessions after school and the early morning arrivals. Look at everyone here that surrounds you. Your parents and family who love you, your teachers and administrators who support you, the support staff amongst you, and know that they were all there to help lay the foundation. The future is now in your hands to hold and to build upon. You, the graduating class of the year 2000, we will never forget you. For you can now walk the walk, and you can now talk the talk. For you are ready, as graduates of East Brunswick High School, to build upon the foundation laid for you to lay the cornerstones for a new generation of Americans. Thank you. Peace.
Good afternoon, and welcome to all. I'd like to thank you for sharing this graduation ceremony with all of us who make up the East Brunswick community. First of all, I'd like to thank the class of 2000 for your cooperative spirit during these past 3 years. It has been enjoyable working with you and your class leaders. Your open-mindedness to try new ideas and become involved in a variety of programs in our school has been exemplary. It didn't even let the construction bother you. I have one thing to share with you today. Get a life. A real life. Not the manic pursuit of the next promotion, the bigger paycheck, the larger house. Get a life where you smell the salt air of the shore or watch the hawk at the water gap. Get a life where you're not alone. Find people who love you and whom you can love. Remember, love is not leisure, it is work. Every time you look at your diploma, remember that you are still a student learning how to treasure connections with others. Pick up the phone, send email, write a letter, kiss your mom, hug your dad. Get a life in which you are generous. Wherever you land in life, get involved in the community that you reside. Life is not a spectator sport. Give money to charity, work in a soup kitchen, be a big brother or sister. All of you want to do well, but if you do not do good, then doing well will never be enough. It is easy to waste our lives, our days, our hours, our minutes. It is easy to take for granted the smell of flowers or the colors of the fall. It is so easy to exist instead of live. Please understand that you need to learn to love the journey, not the destination. Life is not a dress rehearsal, and today is the only guarantee that you get. Well, you can learn all of these things out there if you get a real life, a full life, a professional life, but another life as well. A life that loves and laughs and a connection to other human beings. Just keep your eyes and ears open. At East Brunswick High School, you learned in the classroom. There's classroom everywhere. The exam comes at the end. So to the class of 2000, I bid you farewell. I am confident that you can achieve your dreams if you work hard and show perseverance through difficult times in your life. Please remember to spend time with your families, grasp the opportunities to help others, and always perform to the best of your abilities. If you do this, you can lead a satisfying life. Good luck to the class of 2000. I wish you many years of happiness and good health. Thank you. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to recognize the students who have achieved the highest academic status for their high school careers. Earning straight A's in every course she took for all 4 years of high school, salutatorian Dana Cohen. Valedictorian of the class of 2000 and highest honors for achieving all A's in every course he has taken in high school, Stephen Brower. Congratulations to these outstanding students.
Welcome to this ceremony to celebrate the achievements of the soon-to-be graduates of East Brunswick High School. You've all waited a very long time for this occasion, but before I address my comments to you, I'd like to take a minute and to thank some people without whom this celebration could not happen. First of all, thank you to our Board of Education members. These are 9 people who work countless hours to provide programs and facilities that have enabled you to experience the best possible educational opportunities. In fact, your salutatorian, Dana Cohen, remarked in an interview in a recent edition of Spotlight on Education that one of the things she liked best about the high school was the variety of courses available. The major reason for this is that your Board of Education approves the curriculum and has always been supportive of new and innovative ideas. In my opinion, they do a wonderful job and really deserve some recognition. So to the board, thank you. Next on my list is the wonderful faculty that we have here at East Brunswick and the staff. From the elementary teachers and administrators to those in the middle school, the junior high school, and the high school, each and every one of them is exceptional. They're constantly looking for interesting ways to present topics and new approaches to teaching and learning. And they also make themselves available to students when help is needed. In addition to the teachers and the administrators, our support staff, child nutrition personnel, custodial, secretarial, everyone who is part of the East Brunswick community helps to make the educational experience exemplary. I've worked in several school districts during my career, and I believe that each staff was great. But I honestly have to say that the staff here in East Brunswick stands out, and I hope each of you, the soon-to-be graduates, realizes this and takes or have taken the time to thank your teachers for helping you gain the knowledge and skill you're going to need to be a success. My heartfelt thanks to my staff, each and every one of you. Now to the graduating class. As I tried to gather some thoughts about what I wanted to say, I realized that there are really 2 things that make a commencement speech pretty good. One is you have to be upbeat, and the other thing is you should be relatively brief. And I hope to accomplish both of those because I know what you're really wishing for is that we get around quickly to handing out those diplomas. But before I let you go, I want to pass along some thoughts, some that probably won't make a difference to you right away, but hopefully someday you'll remember them and take them to heart. And they have to do with celebrations. And what I'd ask you to do is celebrate your uniqueness every single day. In the world you're about to enter, each day is going to bring new challenges, new discoveries, and even some new failures. But it's because we're all different that our world has evolved the way it is. Think about it. If we all liked the same thing, it would really be pretty boring. If we did the same thing, thought the same way, what discoveries wouldn't have been possible? Don't regret being different because it's your unique qualities that will make you special. Embrace the differences in yourself and others. Keep your uniqueness. Celebrate life. For some of you, formal education is over. For some, perhaps 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe even 8, 9 years of further education. Who knows? Whatever you're going to do, realize that day that this is your life. If you don't take some time to appreciate little things, you'll find that someday life has passed you by and you didn't have time to have some fun. I know it seems easy to say and very hard to do. Where are you supposed to find the time to enjoy when you have so much to do? But the spirit does need to be replenished from time to time. And there are so many once-in-a-lifetime things that will happen to you that if you don't take the time to enjoy them, the opportunity certainly will pass. Celebrate your parents and thank them. They have only your best interests at heart. While that might not have always seemed to be the case to you, perhaps one day you too will experience parenthood and find it's not as easy as what you think. It's one of the few careers that one isn't schooled in. They love you, they respect you, and right now they're probably having a very difficult time coping with your pending adulthood and independence that goes along with it. Still, take the time to thank them for all that they have done, for the times they came to see you in a school function, chaperoned a class trip, or an athletic event. And certainly I'd like to extend my thanks to them for their support to the school community. School system just isn't teachers and administrators, it is parents and community too. Celebrate your ability to make a difference. And I think we saw that happen very recently with some of the events that came after the prom. Celebrate your ability to make a difference. When you're given the opportunity to make a difference in someone's life, do it. Ask yourself, how am I going to make a difference? There's a story I tell about a young surfer from New Jersey who happened to be walking the beach somewhere in the Seaside Heights area after a storm. And that storm had washed ashore tens of thousands of starfish. And as the sun was rising, certainly the heat and the receding tide would cause each and every one of those starfish to perish. And as that young surfer was walking the sands, he came upon an elderly gentleman who was walking the beach, kept bending down and picking up one starfish at a time and throwing it back into the ocean. Continued to follow this gentleman and thought, this guy has got to be nuts. What in the world could he be doing throwing these starfish? There are thousands and thousands of them back into the ocean. So he finally got the courage to approach the gentleman and said, sir, how can you hope to make a difference throwing those starfish back? There are so many of them on the shore. And the elderly gentleman looked him in the eye, bent down, picked up one more starfish, threw it back into the ocean, and turned to that young man and said, it made a difference to that one, didn't it? And that's what each and every one of you can do. Finally, I'd like to leave you with some advice, with something I'd like you to think about and promise yourself you'll do. So here goes. Promise yourself not to forget the pleasure of being surprised, to make all your friends feel there is something special in them, to look at the sunny side of everything and make your optimism come true, and to think only of the best, to work only for the best, and expect only the best, to be just as enthusiastic about the success of others as you are about your own, to forget about the mistakes of the past and press on to greater achievements, and to wear a cheerful countenance at all times and give every single living creature you meet a smile, to give so much to the improvement of yourself that you have no time to criticize others, to be too large for worry, too noble for anger, too strong for fear, and too happy to permit the presence of troubles. And promise to love your enemies. For lack of anything else, it will drive them crazy. Most importantly, promise yourself to be strong, so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind. Talk health, happiness, and prosperity to every person you meet. Congratulations to the class of 2000 for all your achievements of the past. You have my very, very best wishes for your happiness and success in the years ahead. Mr. Winters, members of the Board of Education, at this time, it is a distinct privilege and honor for me, as the Superintendent of Schools, to present the East Brunswick High School class of 2000. and to certify that each student has successfully completed the program of studies prescribed by the State of New Jersey and the East Brunswick Board of Education required for a high school diploma. Mr. Winters?
Thank you, Dr. Kopko. It's always an honor, but it's always an uncomfortable situation to know that you are the one thing separating you from your diploma. So I will make these remarks very short. Parents, grandparents, loved ones of the graduates, I know what you're thinking. We've been through all this before, at least most of it, or a lot of it. There is so much ahead that they ought to know. So much we can tell them about how to begin answering these hard questions. We have the obligation to tell them, to reduce as much as possible the pain of their learning from their own blunders. We have the obligation, but do we have the right? Can we who found the ultimate truth so elusive for so long tell them with confidence now of the futility of gathering up riches and the things of the world? Most of us have achieved levels of affluence and comfort unthought of generations ago. We've never had it so good, most of us, nor have we ever complained so bitterly about our problems. Men and women rise to the top of their professions after years of struggling, but despite their apparent success, they are driven nearly mad by a frantic search for diversions, new mates, games, new experiences, anything to fill the diminishing interval between their existence and eternity. We know because we've been there, but do we have the right to tell these graduates that the most important thing in their lives will be their ability to believe in believing, and that without that ability, sooner or later they will be doomed to despair? Do you think they would believe us if we told them today what we know to be true, that after the pride of obtaining the diploma, and maybe later a degree, and after their first few love affairs, that after earning their first big title, their first shiny new car, and traveling around the world for the first time and having it all, discover that none of it counts unless they have something real and permanent to believe in? Tell me, are we the ones to tell them what their instructors have tried for years, that the philosophers were right, that St. Francis, Buddha, Mohammed all spoke the truth when they said the way to serve yourself is to serve others, and that Aristotle was right before them when he said the only way to assure yourself happiness is to learn to give happiness? Don't you remember that we were told all this when we were younger? But nevertheless, we got caught up in the struggle and the sweat and the frustration and the joy of small victories and forgot it all. Until recently, when we began to look back. We have for a full lifetime taught our children to be go-getters. Can we now say to them that if they want to be happy, they must be go-givers? I wonder if we can, in good conscience, say these things to them today, when we ourselves failed so often to practice what we would preach. Do we have the right to tell them, as our teachers told us, they have an obligation in justice to participate in politics and government? That in our democracy, the policies that become law, the rules of justice, the treatment of individuals are the responsibility of each citizen? When we ourselves have chosen to sit at home on so many election days, muttering grim remarks about the politicians, instead of doing what we could do to change things for the better. Will they believe us if we said these things? But these problems are not as great as I've made them out to be. I've been taking a closer look at these graduates. They're actually taller, stronger, smarter than we are, smart enough maybe to take our mistakes as their messages, to make our weaknesses their lessons, and to make our examples, good and not so good, part of their education. I think I see in their eyes a depth of perception that perhaps we didn't have, a sense of truth deeper and less fragile than ours. As you talk to them today, you get the feeling that they are certainly mature enough to see the real problems of our society. The need for peace, the need to keep pure the environment God offered us, the need to provide people the dignity of earning their own way. Indeed, as I think about it, I have to conclude that these young people before me today are the best reason for hope that this world knows. I see them as believers and doers who will take what we will pass on to them so clumsily and make it something better than we have ever known, honoring us by their words, but wanting them to be better than we have been. Now, ladies and gentlemen, parents and grandparents, I would like to tell them, the graduates, all of this. And I know if we thought they wouldn't be embarrassed by hearing it, we would be telling them how proud we are of them and how much we believe in them. But again, maybe we don't have to tell them. Maybe they know. Maybe they can tell us by just seeing the love in their eyes today. Congratulations, parents, teachers, honored guests, on the good children you have cared for and raised. Now, on behalf of the East Brunswick Board of Education, I accept the recommendation of the administration and the East Brunswick High School and the school district, and direct diplomas be awarded to the members of the class of 2000.